Hello and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. Tonight we're going to be reviewing Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. So let's get into it. So first, a quick history of Jack Daniel's for those of you that don't know, and I will post a video at the end of this video with the full history of Jack Daniel's. But for now, we're going to go through it quick. So Jack Daniel's lost both of his parents at a very young age, and because of this, he was adopted by a man named Dan Call. Now, Dan Call unfortunately owned slaves. One of these slaves was called Nathan Nearest Green. Now, Nathan Nearest Green, or some of you may know him as Uncle Nearest, which is another whiskey we will eventually get to. Now, Nathan Nearest Green knew all about distilling whiskey, and he would eventually teach Jack Daniel's all that he would know about distilling whiskey, including the Lincoln County process that is now world famous. But it would be a while before Jack would go out on his own and start making his own whiskey. But in 1884, Jack Daniel's would buy the now very popular Holler property there in Lynchburg, Tennessee, and of course he would then start distilling whiskey, and the rest is history. So let's get into our bottle for tonight, which is Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. So let's get some poured here and give it a smell and a taste. All right, let's see what we smell. Okay, so right away, you know this is Jack Daniel's. It's got that just very prominent kind of grapey, kind of similar to Old Forester as well. Of course, this is a Brown-Forman product, but there's also the addition of that kind of grape and char in there that lets you know it's a Jack instead of an Old Forester. Yeah, so you're getting grape, char, definitely some barrel notes in there, brown sugar, caramel, maybe even hints of cherry. And then just a light vanilla in there as well. All in all, pretty good nose. But let's see what it tastes like. Okay, so same thing that you got on the nose, you're definitely getting on the taste, and you absolutely know this is Jack. Right away, you're getting that kind of grapey, banana, almost like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich minus, well, I guess just peanut butter and jelly, because you're not really getting a bready note. But so there's like peanut butter and jelly in there, and then also maybe some cherry, and then of course if you were also smelling a fire off in the distance, so you're getting kind of those char notes in there as well, and then you're getting the oaky flavors coming in, and of course you're getting your standard brown sugar and caramels like you get in most bourbons and American whiskeys. Let's get one more sip here and see what else we can get. All right, so on that second sip, got even more of that grape flavor coming through, not as much of the banana that time. The grape was really prominent, and a lot more of the char notes showing through there as well. So kind of like a burnt grape, which doesn't sound that great, but it's not too bad. Did notice though, I am starting to get some of that kind of medicinal grape note that I always kind of get on Jack. It's not nearly as bad as Old No. 7, but it is definitely there. It lets you know that it's a Jack Daniel's. So let's give it one more sip here. Yeah, so all in all, it's not a bad bottle. I think it's quite a bit better than just standard old Jack, but it still has kind of the same weaknesses that Old No. 7 has. There is still kind of that medicinal grape note on the end, kind of like a grape NyQuil or something like that. Some kind of like grape cough medicine for sure. And then there's a lot of char, and there's also kind of this, a lot of alcohol presence, which I mean, obviously it's whiskey, so you're going to expect that, but this is more of like a rubbing alcohol or something like that, which isn't really the greatest. Now, again, this is far better than just standard Old No. 7, and I actually enjoy this bottle quite a bit. But still, when you consider the competition, this bottle is around $45. So that's kind of getting up there in price, and there's a pretty big variety of bourbons and whiskeys when you're getting up into that price point. So because of that, I can't rate it real high. I would say maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. So not terrible, better than some for sure, but definitely not the top of the line in this price point. So it's definitely worth a try, especially if you're a Jack Daniel's fan. I strongly suggest that you try the single barrel. It is quite a bit better in my opinion, but it's definitely not the best of the best in that price point. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that like button, and as always folks, just remember, you can never have too much good whiskey. Hello and welcome back to Whiskey. That's too much.